My brothers and sisters, many people quietly ask themselves, why am I still single? Why hasn't Allah sent the right person yet? Especially when you see others getting married and moving ahead in life, you begin to wonder whether Allah has overlooked you. But Allah does not overlook. Allah does not forget. There is no gap in His knowledge and no error in His plan. Your current phase is not a punishment, it is precision. You are exactly where Allah wants you to be right now, even if you don't yet understand why. Some of you are single because Allah is protecting you from something you cannot see. You might think you're ready, you might think you found someone suitable, or you might feel pressured because people around you are settling down, but Allah sees the future that you cannot see. He knows what a person is truly like behind closed doors. He knows their character, their habits, their intentions, and the challenges they would bring into your life. Sometimes the person you think is perfect today would become the greatest source of pain tomorrow. The wrong person can bring chaos into your home, disturb your mental peace, and lead you away from Allah. Imagine entering a marriage where you constantly feel drained, unappreciated, or spiritually weakened. Allah, in His mercy, keeps you away from that before it even reaches you. You might see only the delay, but Allah sees the destruction that delay is preventing. So He withholds not to deprive you, but to shield you. He closes certain doors because He knows you would walk through them and regret it. He blocks certain relationships because He knows they would break you. Many people realize this only years later when they look back and say, Alhamdulillah, that didn't work out. One day, you will look back and understand that Allah's timing was not just better, it was a form of protection you didn't know you desperately needed. Some of you are single because you need healing, and this is something many people underestimate. We live in a time where everyone appears strong on the outside, confident on social media, smiling in pictures, pretending everything is fine. But inside, many hearts carry wounds that have never been addressed. Disappointments, betrayals, childhood pain, failed relationships, emotional scars, unrealistic expectations, and sometimes even guilt over past mistakes. The truth is, you cannot enter a new chapter while old pages are still bleeding. You cannot build a stable marriage on a foundation that is cracked or shaken. When Allah delays your marriage, it is not because He wants you to suffer, it is because He wants you to enter that marriage with a heart that is healthy, steady, peaceful, and ready to give and receive love in a way that is sincere and sustainable. A lot of people don't realize this. Marriage does not magically fix your internal problems. In fact, it exposes them. Marriage is like a mirror. It shows you the parts of you that you've ignored. It reveals your habits, your ego, your insecurities, your patience or lack of it. If you are carrying unresolved pain, it will spill into your relationship. If your heart is still stuck in the past, your spouse will feel it. If you haven't dealt with your trauma, your reactions will be shaped by it. This is why Allah, out of His mercy, gives people time to heal before He gives them a spouse. Imagine entering a marriage with wounds that you've never dealt with. A small disagreement becomes a disaster. A misunderstanding becomes a heartbreak. A simple comment triggers an old memory and creates new conflict. And suddenly, your marriage suffers not because of your spouse, but because of pain that existed before they even arrived. Allah does not want you to harm someone who comes into your life with good intentions. He doesn't want you to project old hurt onto a new relationship. He wants your heart to be soft, your mind to be clear, and your character to be refined. He wants you to be emotionally mature enough to handle the responsibilities, sacrifices, and test of marriage. Healing isn't just about forgetting bad memories. Healing means rebuilding yourself. It means learning how to communicate calmly instead of reacting emotionally. It means learning patience, self-control, forgiveness, and empathy. It means breaking unhealthy patterns you might have picked up along the way. Some of you may have grown up in environments where you didn't see healthy communication, where anger was normal, where silence was used as punishment, where love was inconsistent. And now, Allah is giving you time to unlearn these patterns, because they don't belong in a marriage. They may feel normal to you, but they can destroy a relationship that could have been beautiful. Some of you may have experienced unhealthy relationships in the past, relationships that damaged your self-esteem, confused your identity, or weakened your connection with Allah. Allah is not going to place you in a new relationship until you repair the way you see yourself and the way you see love. Because if you don't heal, you will walk into a new relationship expecting your spouse to fix you, fill the emptiness inside you, or constantly reassure you, and that puts unbearable pressure on another human being. Marriage thrives when both people enter as whole individuals, not perfect individuals, but emotionally grounded ones. People who can communicate with kindness, people who can handle stress without breaking the other person, people who can forgive, apologize, and grow together. These qualities don't appear overnight. They are built through patience, self-reflection, dua, and effort. Allah knows you. He knows what hurt you. He knows the wounds you hide. He knows your struggles, even the ones you don't speak about. And He knows what kind of healing you need before you enter a lifelong partnership. This time of being single is not a punishment. It is therapy from Allah. It is a phase where He is cleaning your heart, strengthening your soul, and preparing your mind. Instead of asking, why am I still single? Ask yourself, what part of me still needs healing? Maybe you need to rebuild your self-worth. Maybe you need to let go of past guilt. Maybe you need to forgive someone. Maybe you need to forgive yourself. Maybe you need to reconnect with Allah after a period of distance. Or maybe you simply need to learn how to love in a way that is compassionate, not desperate. My brothers and sisters, when Allah delays, He delays with wisdom. And when Allah heals you, He heals you beautifully. One day, when you enter marriage with a heart that is ready, you will understand that this waiting period was one of the greatest gifts Allah ever gave you. And some of you are single because Allah wants to grow you before He gives you. This is one of the most overlooked realities of life. People want the blessing immediately, but they don't want the preparation that makes them capable of protecting and honoring that blessing. Marriage isn't just a beautiful moment, it is a lifelong responsibility. It requires strength, patience, emotional maturity, communication skills, financial responsibility, and above all, a heart that is grounded in faith. Allah knows what level of maturity you will need to handle the difficulties that come with marriage. Many people think marriage is simply companionship and romance, but the truth is it also demands sacrifice. It demands compromise. It demands patience on days when you're tired. It demands forgiveness even when your ego wants to win. Marriage is two human beings with different backgrounds, habits, personalities, and weaknesses learning to walk through life together. If Allah gave you a spouse before you develop the character needed to sustain a marriage, the relationship could break under your immaturity, your impatience, or your lack of discipline. So instead of letting you lose a good marriage due to unpreparedness, Allah gives you time to grow. Some of you are single because Allah is teaching you emotional control. If you react quickly, get angry easily, shut down during disagreements, or avoid difficult conversations, these tendencies would create major problems in a marriage. Allah wants you to learn how to communicate calmly, how to handle frustration without breaking someone's heart, and how to disagree without disrespect. These are not small qualities, they are the pillars of a peaceful home. Some of you are single because Allah is teaching you responsibility. Maybe you need to learn how to manage finances, how to stay consistent in your work, how to organize your life, how to make decisions with wisdom rather than impulse. Marriage requires stability. A home cannot be built on laziness, inconsistency, or recklessness. Allah gives you this time to build habits that will support both you and your future spouse. Some of you are single because Allah wants you to become emotionally independent before becoming emotionally connected. Marriage is not a place to dump your insecurities. It's a place to share life with someone, not to burden them with wounds you haven't learned to manage. Allah wants you to be able to stand on your own feet, so when your spouse stands beside you, it's partnership, not dependence. Some of you are single because Allah wants to strengthen your relationship with Him first. If your heart is too attached to the dunya, if your priorities are misaligned, if your connection with Allah is weak, then giving you marriage at this time might pull you even further away from Him. But Allah loves you too much to let that happen. So He keeps you waiting until your deen is stronger, your heart is cleaner, and your focus is clearer. Some of you are single because Allah is refining your character. Marriage requires kindness, gentleness, patience, and understanding. These qualities are not always natural. They are developed. You learn them through challenges, through growth, through experiences that shape you. Every test you face right now, every frustration, every disappointment, every delay is building the qualities you will need as a spouse. Think about it. If you cannot handle stress alone, how will you handle stress with two people involved? If you cannot control your tongue when you're angry, how will you control it when words can emotionally wound someone you love? If you struggle with consistency in prayer, in discipline, or in effort, how will you lead a household? Allah is preparing you silently through everyday lessons to become a person who can hold a family together with wisdom and compassion. Some of you are single because your life is not yet in the position where marriage would flourish. You may need to complete your education, stabilize your career, support your parents for a period, or clear certain challenges that would complicate your marriage. Allah is arranging your circumstances so that when you enter marriage, you enter it with stability rather than chaos. And some of you are single because Allah is writing a story that requires timing, not rushing. The person written for you may also be in a season of growth. They may be healing, maturing, or learning important life lessons. Allah might be preparing them for you just as much as He's preparing you for them. Two unprepared individuals rushing into marriage can cause heartbreak. Two prepared individuals entering at the right time create tranquility. The growth Allah is giving you right now is not random. Every challenge teaches you something. Every delay shapes your perspective. Every responsibility builds your resilience. Every disappointment softens your heart and increases your empathy. These qualities matter. They directly affect the way you communicate, the way you solve problems, the way you love, the way you forgive, the way you endure. When Allah is preparing you for marriage, He is not just preparing you for a spouse, He is preparing you for a household, for parenthood, for leadership, for partnership, and for a long journey that requires emotional, spiritual, and mental strength. Your waiting period is a training ground. It is a place where Allah strengthens your character quietly, day by day. You don't always see the progress, but it is happening. And one day, when the right person enters your life, you will realize why Allah needed you to grow before granting you that blessing. So instead of seeing this time as a void, see it as an investment. Allah is building you, shaping you, stretching you, and polishing you. Because what He wants to give you later requires a stronger, wiser, calmer, more mature version of you. And when He finally gives, you will understand that this growth was one of the greatest mercies He placed in your life. Being single is a test, but it is also a gift. Most people only focus on the test. They see the loneliness, the silence, the empty seat beside them, the events they attend alone, and the questions people keep asking: when are you getting married? What are you waiting for? Haven't you found someone yet? And for many, that pressure becomes heavier than the loneliness itself. But what they fail to see is that Allah never gives a test without attaching a mercy to it. Every test carries hidden blessings, and every delay carries hidden wisdom. Being single is not just an emotional test, it is actually a phase in your life filled with advantages you might not fully appreciate right now. Let's talk about the test first. Loneliness is real. You feel it when you watch your friends progressing, starting their families, posting their engagements, births, and anniversaries. You feel it when you have no one to share your achievements with at the end of the day. You feel it when you see others supported while you carry your responsibilities alone. There are nights when the world becomes quiet and your heart begins to whisper thoughts you don't share with anyone. What if I never find someone? What if something is wrong with me? Why is this happening to me? These thoughts are part of the test. They challenge your patience, your trust, your faith, and your self-worth. But now, look at the other side, the gift. Being single is one of the only times in life where you have full control over your time, your decisions, your priorities, and your energy. And this freedom is not meaningless. It is given to you by Allah because He wants you to build yourself before He gives you someone to build a life with. Right now, you have the space to strengthen your relationship with Allah without distraction. You have time for ibadah, for learning, for growth, for fixing your heart, for improving your character. You have time to work on your dreams, your skills, your career, your education, your personal development. You have the ability to travel, to explore, to expand your horizons in ways that become more complicated after marriage. You have time to understand yourself, what you need, what you value, what keeps you close to Allah, what distances you from Him, what kind of spouse you can complement, and what kind of person would complement you. Many people rush into marriage without ever understanding themselves, and they end up feeling lost inside the very relationship they thought would save them. Allah gives you this time so you don't enter marriage as an incomplete version of yourself. Think about something else. Marriage is beautiful, but it also comes with responsibilities. The moment you marry, your time is no longer entirely your own. You are responsible for another person's emotions, rights, expectations, and well-being. And if Allah blesses you with children, that responsibility multiplies. You won't always have the quiet mornings you have now. You won't always have the personal space you enjoy today. You won't have the same freedom to pursue certain goals. Marriage requires sacrifice, maturity, and energy. So Allah, out of His mercy, gives you these years as a gift to build yourself physically, emotionally, spiritually, financially, and mentally. Because when marriage arrives, you will need every one of those strengths. There is also another gift hidden in being single: clarity. You can observe people, you can learn from others' marriages, you can understand red flags, you can see what works and what does not. You are not blindly walking into a commitment. You are entering it with awareness, with wisdom, and with a deeper understanding of the kind of household you want to build. This period also teaches you something priceless: reliance on Allah. When you are single, you learn how to stand on your own. You learn how to handle life's difficulties without depending on a spouse to rescue you. You learn how to manage your emotions, your finances, your time, your priorities. You learn how to be strong in private. These lessons make you a better spouse later, someone who gives, not someone who overwhelms. Some people enter marriage empty, expecting their spouse to fill every need, emotional, spiritual, financial, and personal. But love doesn't work like that. A healthy marriage is built by two people who come together with strength, not two people clinging to each other out of desperation. Allah is giving you time to become that strong person. Being single is also a gift because it keeps you away from settling. If Allah had given you marriage earlier, you may have accepted someone who wasn't right for your character, your deen, or your future. But now, with experience, growth, and clarity, you can recognize what aligns with your values and what doesn't. Some people regret the marriages they rushed into. Some wish they had taken time to know themselves better. Some wish they had waited for someone more compatible. Allah is saving you from that regret. You see, every phase of your life is designed by Allah. Nothing is random, nothing is wasted, not even the loneliness you feel. That loneliness is building compassion in you. It is shaping your empathy. It is making you appreciate companionship when it comes. Some of the most grateful spouses are those who waited, because they truly understand the value of marriage when it finally arrives. My brothers and sisters, being single doesn't mean you are lacking. It means you are being shaped. It doesn't mean you are unwanted. It means you are being protected. It doesn't mean your story is ending. And it means an important chapter is being written. And when you finally enter marriage with a healed heart, a mature mind, a stronger iman, and a clear understanding, you will realize that these years were a mercy disguised as a delay. Remember, your value is not determined by whether someone chooses you. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings in today's world. People measure themselves by how much attention they receive, how many proposals they get, how many compliments they hear, or how quickly their friends get married compared to them. But Allah never tied your worth to someone else's choice. Your worth comes from the one who created you, the one who sustains you, the one who knows every detail of your heart. Marriage does not complete you, only Allah completes you. If you rely on a spouse to fix your loneliness, to heal your trauma, or to fill the emptiness inside you, you will place a burden on that person that no human being is capable of carrying. A spouse is meant to be a companion, not a replacement for spiritual connection. Love between two people is a blessing, but it is not meant to take the place of the love you must have for Allah. When you depend too heavily on a spouse for emotional survival, the relationship becomes unbalanced. You begin to fear losing them more than you fear losing Allah. So instead of asking, why am I still single? Ask a better, deeper, more beneficial question. What does Allah want me to learn in this stage of my life? Because every phase has lessons, and this one, your season of being single, holds some of the most important lessons you will ever learn. Maybe Allah wants you to clean your heart. Sometimes we carry resentment, jealousy, pride, ego, or emotional scars that would poison the peace of a marriage. Allah doesn't want that for you. Maybe He wants you to break a habit that would hurt your future spouse. Maybe you need to learn patience, forgiveness, or gentleness. Maybe Allah wants to soften your heart before He brings you someone whose heart needs gentleness too. Maybe Allah wants you to get closer to Him first. Some people rush into marriage hoping it will make them better Muslims, but marriage isn't automatically a spiritual upgrade. In some cases, it can pull a person further away if their foundation with Allah is weak. So Allah says, build your relationship with me first. Strengthen your deen. Let me be your anchor. When your heart is grounded in faith, you bring stability into your marriage instead of instability. Maybe Allah wants you to detach from harmful people. Sometimes we carry connections that are not good for us, unhealthy friendships, past relationships, or people who influence us negatively. Marriage requires clarity. It requires a clean heart and a clean environment. Allah might be removing certain people from your life because they would block the blessing He wants to give you. Maybe Allah wants you to build your self-worth. Many people enter marriage with low confidence, feeling unworthy, feeling insecure, feeling like they must constantly prove themselves. This leads to jealousy, overthinking, and unnecessary arguments. Allah might be giving you time to recognize your value so that when you enter marriage, you walk in with dignity, not desperation. You enter as someone who knows their worth and treats their spouse with respect without losing their own identity. Maybe Allah wants you to build your life, your career, your education, your financial stability, your emotional maturity. Marriage is easier when the basics of life are in order, not perfect but stable. Allah might be arranging your future life so you don't enter marriage with unnecessary pressure. This stage of your life is not empty. It is full of divine preparation. The problem is that most people don't notice preparation because it happens quietly. It happens in the way you start controlling your emotions better. It happens in the wisdom you gain through experiences. It happens in the way your mindset shifts from reacting to understanding. It happens in the way you start trusting Allah more deeply. This growth is invisible at first, but later it becomes the foundation of a peaceful marriage. And here's something many people forget. The person written for you is also on their own journey. Just like you need time to heal, to grow, to mature, they might need time too. Allah might be preparing them at this very moment. They may be fixing themselves, strengthening their iman, letting go of their own past, or building qualities that will match yours. Your delay may not be about you alone. It might be about them and the timing Allah has written for both of you to meet. The delay is not a denial. It is coordination. It is alignment. It is Allah bringing two hearts to the right point at the right time in the right way. So during this period, don't let your heart fall into self-doubt. Don't let society make you feel incomplete. Don't rush into the arms of the wrong person just to avoid being alone. Don't settle for less than what aligns with your deen, your values, and your future. Use this time to become a better version of yourself, not because marriage demands perfection, but because marriage works best when two people enter prepared, balanced, and connected to Allah. Your value does not decrease because you are single. Your value increases because Allah is investing time in shaping you. He is giving you lessons, experiences, clarity, and resilience that will make you a better spouse, a better parent, a better believer, and a better human being. So hold on to this. You are not alone. You are not forgotten. Your timeline is not delayed, it is designed. This phase is not meaningless, it is purposeful. And your worth does not depend on a proposal, it depends on Allah. When the time is right, Allah will bring the one written for you in a way you never expected. At a moment that makes you say, Subhanallah, now I understand why the wait was necessary. My brothers and sisters, do not compare your timeline with anyone else's. This is one of the greatest traps of modern life. Everywhere you look, people are displaying their highlight moments, engagements, weddings, anniversaries, celebrations, all neatly packaged, beautifully photographed and posted online. But you don't see their tears, you don't see their tests, you don't see the struggles behind closed doors. You only see the moment Allah chose to show you. And when you compare your reality to someone else's highlight, your heart begins to feel heavy. You begin to think you are behind. You begin to feel incomplete. You begin to question yourself in ways you shouldn't. But remember this. Every flower blooms at its own time. If a flower tries to bloom before its season, it dies. If it blooms after its season, the environment is no longer suited for it. Allah allows every creation to flourish in the exact moment that is best for it. And you, with all your hopes, your fears, your dua, your dreams, you are no different. Your moment will come when Allah knows it is right for you, not when society expects it. Every heart finds its partner when Allah writes it, not when people pressure it. Your story is written by the one who knows every second of your life, every emotion in your chest, every silent prayer, every tear that fell out of frustration. Every night you asked Him, Ya Allah, when? And Allah heard every word and Allah saw every tear. Your task is not to rush His plan. Your task is to trust His plan, because the delay you see is not a delay from Allah's side. It is preparation. You are not being left behind. You are being positioned. You are not being ignored. You are being refined. You are not being denied. You are being protected. And you are not alone. You are actually under the special care of the most loving. Your loneliness is not abandonment. It is Allah drawing you closer. It is Allah teaching you to rely on Him, to speak to Him, to trust Him, to build your faith. Many people never speak to Allah from the deepest parts of their hearts until they are tested. And sometimes the test of loneliness becomes the strongest doorway to connection. You might think your heart is empty, but sometimes Allah empties a heart so He can fill it with something better. Sometimes He removes people so He can give you someone more sincere. Sometimes He closes doors so He can open doors that lead to more happiness than you imagine. Every no from Allah is protection. Every not yet is preparation, and every yes that is written for you will come with ease. And when Allah finally gives, He does not give halfway. He gives beautifully, He gives completely. He gives in a way that makes you say, Subhanallah, this was worth every minute of waiting. He gives you someone who brings tranquility to your home, someone whose presence makes your faith stronger, not weaker. Someone who appreciates your character, your efforts, your loyalty, your deen. Someone who is written for you, not borrowed from another story. Allah will send you someone who sees your worth, even when the world overlooks you. Someone who stands beside you during hardships and grows with you through life's changes. Someone who makes you grateful for every moment you spent waiting because the timing was perfect. And here is something important. Your story is far from over. This phase, this chapter of being single is not the ending. It is not even the middle. It is a chapter of growth, of learning, of strength, of clarity, of resilience, of becoming. When Allah writes a story, every chapter matters. Even the ones that feel slow, even the ones that feel lonely, even the ones you wish you could skip. One day you will look back at this phase with gratitude. You will understand why Allah held you back from certain people. You will understand why certain relationships didn't work. You will understand why certain prayers were answered with silence. You will understand why Allah made you wait. Because the moment you receive what is written for you, clarity will replace confusion. My brothers and sisters, trust Allah's timing. He has never been late. He has never made a mistake. He has never forgotten a servant who raised their hands and said, Ya Allah, grant me what is best. Your dua is already accepted. It is simply waiting for the moment. Allah has chosen the moment when it brings you the most benefit, the most happiness, and the most goodness for your dunya and your akhirah. So hold on, be patient, keep your heart soft, keep your faith strong, keep improving yourself, and know with full certainty that the gift written for you, protected for you, preserved for you will come exactly when Allah knows you are ready to receive it. Ya Allah, Allah, the most loving, the most merciful, we ask you from the depths of our hearts, grant us patience in our waiting, strength in our struggles, and peace in our loneliness. Ya Allah, heal our hearts from every pain we carry, from every wound we hide, and from every disappointment that still lives inside us. Cleanse our hearts from jealousy, from comparison, from fear, and from self-doubt. Ya Allah, make us content with your timing. Make us grateful for your plan. Make us among those who trust you fully, even when we do not understand. If marriage is good for us, Ya Allah, make it easy for us. Send us spouses who bring us closer to you. Spouses who are kind, sincere, loyal, and God-fearing. Spouses who will be a source of tranquility, mercy, and comfort in our lives. Ya Allah, protect us from relationships that will harm us. Protect us from people who are not written for us. Protect us from heartbreak, betrayal, and anything that distances us from you. Ya Allah, make our future better than our past. Fill our homes with light, our hearts with faith, and our lives with your blessings. And when the right time comes, grant us marriages that are filled with love, patience, understanding, and barakah. Ya Allah, you know what we need better than we know ourselves. You know when we are ready and when we are not. So choose for us, guide us, and bless us with what is best in dunya and in akhirah. رَبَّنَا آتَيْنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. Oh Allah, grant us goodness in this world and goodness in the hereafter, and protect us from the punishment of the fire. Ameen Ya Rabb.